it's Ynathemoodreader, and today we're going to talk about all the books I read in August. Okay, so guys, I'm back with another sit-down video. Surprisingly, this month was like, I'm not sure though, but based on the number of books alone, this month is my best reading month for 2020. I'm happy to report, everyone, that I have read 29 books throughout the month. I know it's almost one book a day. I should have challenged myself to do that, but hey, so yeah, I was able to do that. And according to my little reading tracker here, I have my laptop here on my side, as well as this old notebook that you probably recognize if you watched my last reading journal video. I have written some details since this book is now my scratch paper for everything. So I have written here the total. So I'll be talking about today some of my reading stats, my Wikathon wrap up, and some of the other books that I have read in August that did not fit the Wikathon. So first off, for the Wikathon, I have read 21 books, which is 5 books less than what I was targeting, but I still think that 21 books is a good way to go. To be honest with you, August 2020 was not like the best reading month for me in terms of mindset. It just so happened that I joined a 24-hour readathon where I read a bunch of short Filipino books to make it look like I read a lot, but in reality, I struggled with sticking to my TBR because those were chunky reads, lengthy reads, and as usual, I wasn't able to commit to all the fantasy that I was targeting to read. So, but anyway, I was able to finish 21 books, and today I'll just be running through each of them quickly as much as possible, maybe in 1 to 3 sentences. And if you want to learn more about my thoughts on these books, then please do check out my Wikathon reading videos, and I'll be linking each one of them below. So yeah, like I said, I have my laptop here to guide me on which books I finished first, and I was feeling a little lazy to make a list of the badges, like the books I read for the Wikathon with each corresponding badge. All I know is that I have read something that fits each badge. So what I'm gonna do is talk to you about the book, and then I'll be flashing on the screen the badges that the book would fit each book to make it easier for the both of us, me talking here and you watching. So first off, the book that started my August Wikathon is Songs to Your Beat by J.E. Thea. I got this book from the author, and it's a part of a series. So this book is a romance, a contemporary romance about a drummer and the girl that would change him. And as much as I entered this book without any expectations, I don't know why, but this lead or this hero is the one that I like the most out of everyone in the band. So yeah, I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. The next read for the Wikathon I got is You Go First by Araneta Commute, and it's a middle grade book. I listened to the audio via Scribd. It's about 2 kids who connected through a Scrabble playing app and their lives, dealing with growing up, changes in their family, and changes in the friends that they have. It's amazing. I loved it, and especially what made me love it more is the great narration. So kudos to the narrators of that, and I'm also giving that book 5 stars. Next, the third book I have for the Wikathon is Start Here. It is a romance class anthology, and you know me, I love romance class. I'll be linking romance class website down below. Please check them out. It's like an organization that promotes Filipino love stories written by Filipinos for everyone all over the world. And this Start Here anthology is a book of meet cutes from LGBT people, and each has a different vibe, It's written by, I think, 8 to 10 Filipino authors, and there's there's FF, there's Byrep in this book, and all of them have their own pains, they have their own joys. Each author has their distinct voice. It was hard for me to like rate each one because there are stories that I loved and there are stories that were like lukewarm for me, but many stories in this anthology deserve their own full-length novel, so in totality I'm rating it 5 stars. Next, we have Hello Universe. It's an Erin and Chida Kelly book. Again, it's another audiobook that I listened to on Scribd, and this one is my favorite among Erin and Chida Kelly novels. I loved this one so much. There's a Filipino character here, and basically in this book, the Filipino main character has a crush on someone, has a lola, you know, if you're not Filipino, lola is grandmother who tells him these folk tales, Filipino stories, and all that. And then one day he falls into a ditch, and then, you know, he contemplates his short life, and his friends and his crush also shows their own like little storylines, and then these children in one way or another would try to find their friend because he is missing. So the story revolves around that. That was a little spoilery, I'm sorry, but yeah, please listen to the book. It's amazing. I recommend it, and again, I love the voice of this author for middle grade. It's perfect, and yeah, so please do listen to Hello Universe on Scribd, or at least buy a copy somewhere, okay? So next we have No Two Ways. No Two Ways by Chi Rodriguez is a book about bisexuality in the Philippines. Based on the cover alone, you see that there's this woman that's conflicted between choosing a male or a female partner, and yeah, well, actually in this story, there's already this woman that she is attracted to, but is having some struggles in terms of like embracing her bisexuality and all that. This is a very quick read, and it asks good questions about the acceptance and like the prejudice people have on bisexual people. And yeah, I am loving that there are more books that are discussing this theme. I hope more books will discuss this theme, and I hope more people will read books like this. I'm also giving this book 5 stars. Next, we have Private Lessons by Cynthia Salaysay. This one is a debut novel that features like a piano student and a piano teacher. This is about this piano student who is a Filipino that's like struggling to impress a piano teacher, and like her weird idolization of this teacher leads to some weird steamy scene. There's this Me Too scene here that's like the kind used to market this story. Like there will be like a sexual harassment, power play issue here on this book, and that's what the book will be about. Unfortunately, this book fell a little flat for me, though I like some points of the book. I didn't think the message was delivered in a better... I think there is a better way to deliver this kind of message, and the book was lacking in some parts of it. So yeah, my next Wikathon read is this one. It's Si Janus Silang at ang Tiyanak ng Tabon. It's a Tagalog book. It's written in Filipino, and it's a young adult fantasy mystery book. It's first of a series of 5 books, I think, though I only have 4 books right now, and it's amazing. So I made a Tagalog book review about this one. I have yet to put the captions on that video, but this is amazing. 5 stars, highly recommended. And if you want to know all of my thoughts on this book, then please do watch the video. I'll be linking it somewhere here, maybe below in the description box. So yeah, the next books that I'll be talking about are the books that I have read for the Walang Tulugan Readathon or No Sleep Readathon, and there's a lot. so I will just be running through them, and please do watch this lengthy 40-minute video I filmed that was covering the whole Walang Tulugan Readathon process. And yeah, chocolate chip hips. This one has plus size representation, there's dance, there's food. I love everything about this because, as you know, I'm a plus size girl and I love some Filipino plus size representation. This book is a great coming of age story, learning to love yourself and all of that. I love this a lot. So yeah, I'm giving it 5 stars as well. Next read is Bagay Tayo. It's a creative non-fiction book written by Gracio, which is about his love story with his husband, Pitbull. There, I remembered it. So, this book is also written in Filipino, and there's a free copy of this book available in the internet from the Twitter of the author. I'll be linking it down below as well. And you should really grab this book. It has depictions of love in its truest and purest forms. I loved everything about this book. I love the writing style of the author most especially. So you'll surely have a great time if you speak Tagalog. If you can read Tagalog, this book is highly recommended as well. Next, we have here Anina ng Mga Alon. This one is a young adult book, and it's written by Eugene Y. Evasco. And this one has a very pretty cover, and it tells the story of a Badjao girl and life there in the very southern parts of the Philippines. So in Mindanao, so in the Badjao community, who are people who live in boats. Like all their life they spent in the ocean. So Anina ng Mga Alon in English is like Anina of the waves, and this book shows their journey in their community and Anina as well, accepting life's challenges and growing up in the process. So I'm giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. Next, we have my first graphic novel of the bunch, and this book is Lirio. And Lirio is by Magtira Paulo. And this one is an adult, I think, because there are some graphic scenes here that talks about extrajudicial killings in the war on drugs of the current Philippine administration. So this book hits quite hard, and the art style is amazing, very realistic. The message is one that must resonate to all Filipinos, especially at this time, considering everything that's happening in the country. So yeah, I'm reading this graphic novel 5 stars. Next, we have Ang Hari ng Commute, Ang Pagkilala, another graphic novel. It's a very thin one. This book is a recipient of a National Children's Book Awards here in the Philippines for 2 years in a row, 2016 and 2017. And this one talks about the jeepney drivers, because if you're not from here, in the Philippines, jeepney is the main form of transportation, and at present, we have been having this major issue wherein the jeepney drivers of the Philippines are being neglected by the government because they weren't able to. They want to phase out the original jeepneys in this style and want to replace them with modern ones, but the jeepney drivers don't have funds to do that. And there are so many other issues. There are so many other issues that you can read on. I'll try to link some resources down below in a way so for us to help more jeepney drivers. And this one has a very cute story that shows the life of people who are regularly doing commutes, like even in buses and in jeepneys, and simple stories like that, and on how to be a better commuter for yourself and for the people around you. I'm giving this one 4 stars, but I do love the art style of this one. Next is another graphic novel. This one is Sandali. This one is by Mikey Jimenez and Mikey Marchan. This one is a graphic novel that tells a few stories, not just one, in like glimpses of like slices of life of the normal Filipino, and some are giving you some feels on being fair and not judging others, especially without knowing their stories on why they do things. So this one hits quite hard on the heart, and I'm also rating this one 5 stars. The next book that I have read is The Land of Forgotten Girls. This is another book by Araneta Commute, and it's about 2 Filipino girls who were left by their father, whose mother has also passed away and is under the care of their stepmother. And this one has themes of fairy tales and fantasy and the land of make-believe, especially for children that are dealing with grief and all of that. And as much as I wanted to like this book, this didn't resonate well as much as the other Araneta Commute creations did. So I'm rating this one 3 out of 5 stars. Next on my list is Please Pick Me. This is an advanced reader's copy that I have received from a dear friend, Regina. She's on Instagram. I'll be linking her account down below. She is releasing a poetry book soon, and I'll just be honest with you guys. This has very nice lovey vibes, as well as self-care and self-love, and I have loved seeing this glimpse of Reina's personality and her experiences. I love her writing style, and the poetry is amazing. So this book is available now for pre-order. I rated it 5 stars, and I'm planning to reread it sometime soon. So I'll also be linking down below the link to buy or pre-order. Please pick me if you want the chance to read this book. Next, we have here Save the Cake, and this one is a romance class title, and it's about this Filipino baker and like a wedding of a friend where she meets someone who works in video producing for weddings and events, and it tells their love story and also trying to take a chance on love again after so long. But this book has really great potential, but I just think it's so-so. I liked it, but like not loved it. So this book is also rated 3 stars. Oh wow, I just realized I actually read 30 books. I forgot this one. And this one is 1201. This is a book that discusses life in Philippine martial law. It happened, I think, in the late 1970s, early 1980s. And this is a story of a band who was caught outside during curfew and their journey to that. So this is very revolutionary. It also gives people like me who weren't alive at that point a glance on what it was really like to live during the EDSA Revolution martial law era. So I also gave this book 5 stars. And next, I have these 3 graphic novels here. We have the Trece series. There are a lot more books aside from this 3, but these are all that I was able to get. All of them are fantasy comics about this criminal investigator Alexandra Trece, and she is a criminal detective. So the characters here in this book are taken from Philippine mythology, so creatures from that from our own mythology, and it's amazing how they were depicted here. This is pretty scary in the way that the art was created, and then there's also a lot of Philippine references, pop culture references here. That's also fun to read. So if you love crime, detective-ish, mystery, whodunit vibes, this set of graphic novels should be one that you should add to your TBRs soon. So yeah, I rated all of these books 5 stars. Then, second to the last read for the Wikathon is The Vampires of Portlandia by Jason Tanamore. This is an advanced reader copy that I have received from Espresso Book Tours in NetGalley, and this book tells about another book that features Philippine mythology. So this one talks about the aswang, so the vampires, the manananggals, and all other Filipino mythological creatures, and also the way that they migrated to the United States and going to Portland and living life there. So it revolved around that themes, and there are parts that I liked and some that I didn't, but it's still a good read, especially if you want to learn more about the aswangs and this rich part of the Filipino culture. I'm rating it 4 stars. And finally, the last book for the Wikathon is this beautiful book. The Nevertilting World by Reina. And this one is the story of two goddesses. We have Heidi and Odessa, and the world where half of it is like permanently day and half of it is permanently night, just like it is shown here in the cover. And I have the first Reina book that I have read is Wicked As You Wish, and though as much as I loved that book, there were parts there that were like overwhelming for a non-fantasy reader like me, but this one was a way easier read. For some reason, I was able to like dive into the world building of this one better compared to the other one. This book is told, by the way, in 4 point of view. So we have Tianlan or Lan and Odessa. We also have Heidi and Arjun. So there's like 2 parallel stories made with like 2 love teams. I don't know what else to say. That's 2 pairings, I guess. In Filipino, there's like 2 love teams, and there's FF here, and yeah. There's a lot of tabs that I have put in here because I wanted to like remember important parts of the story, as well as of course those nice lines, because Reina really likes a really writes great banter. And I loved this story, though this is more character driven, or like just laying out the foundation for the rest of the series, because I know that there will be more books to this. I'm not sure if it's a trilogy or if it's gonna be longer than that, but I know that this is not the only book in the series. And going through the adventure of the people here, especially with the 2 goddesses, is amazing. I love the magic, I loved the powers, and also this disease that Odessa has. I also love the fact that there's a backstory to everything, so you're like trying to unravel the mystery of what really happened before the world is encountering this one. This also has like the vibes of climate change, environmental problems, and global warming and all of that, like in a fantasy way. So there are many things that you can consider that are perfect, not only in their world but in our world as well. Of course, I'm rating this one 5 stars. I loved it so much. I can't wait for the next installment of the series. I think it's coming very soon, maybe the latter part of this year or maybe early part of next year. And I think it's the Ever Cruel Kingdom, which is mentioned quite a few times here on this book. So I'm very excited to read that. I'll surely grab a pre-order of that one if I can't land an art, because I love this one so much. So those are the 22 books I read for the Wikathon. We have 8 books left to discuss, as well as my reading statistics. First one is The Switch. This one I listened to on audio through the NetGalley app. Just the reason why I picked this read, because I've heard of the Flat Share, though I haven't read that yet, but many people, especially in the romance part of the community, loved the Flat Share, and I saw this one on the NetGalley app, where they recently launched an audiobook advanced audiobook copies, and this one was available, so I got it. I listened to it, and it's like a women's fiction, like chick lit genre, and this book is the story of a grandmother and their granddaughter, and they will be switching their lives. One will be going to like the suburbs, like the provinces in the UK, and one will be going to London, and the story revolved around that. There's romance, there's family, but I don't know if some of the British humor did not like transcend with my Filipino mind, or the author's writing style is not it's just not for me. But this book was just again so I just rated it 3 stars. The next book, 2 books actually that I read, are as a part of the historical romance readathon. It was a weekend readathon hosted by some booktubers that you probably know. And originally I had 3 books planned for this readathon, but I wasn't able to grab the third one. I only finished 2. The first one is Accidentally Compromising the Duke by Stacey Reid. I listened to it via Scrib, and it's a historical romance wherein there's this girl set to marry someone she doesn't like, someone who has actually harassed her and abused her. So she was planning to like run away with the man that she really likes. So her plan was to enter his room so that they will be seen in a compromised position and that their families will be forcing them to marry. Unfortunately, when she entered that room, the room that she entered was the wrong one. It was like the Mad Duke's, and the Mad Duke has this weird reputation because he like became very lonely, aloof. He didn't want to interact with people anymore when his wife had died. And when they were caught in this compromising situation, the Duke decided that he'll help her, he'll marry her, and so this is like, but they didn't really like each other at that point. So it is like an enemies to lovers-ish type of romance, and the Duke is also a father to 2 little kids, and this book was a really nice story. I loved everything about it. I missed reading historical romance, so I rated this one 5 stars. The other book that I read is my first foray into the Lisa Kleypas like extensive collection, and it's The Lady Sofia's Lover. This one is a book about Lady Sophia who works for Ross Cannon. I can't remember what they call Ross Cannon's job, but he has this important job in the government, like in, I don't know if it's like the police or something, or just law enforcement. And she wants to seduce Sir Ross Cannon for some reasons I cannot tell you because it will be spoilery, but she wants to seduce him without falling in love with him, so that she can take revenge and hurt his heart. But of course her heart melts in the process, and yeah, so this is like a good, I don't know the exact trope that the romance reading community called this one, but I loved this concept of like playing around with somebody else's feelings and then ended up falling yourself, and it's really nice. I love Lisa Kleypas's writing. I don't know if it's her best work, but it's one of her most famous works, and this showed me that I should be grabbing more of her books soon. As you can see, I did a haul here, and I hope that I would get to read maybe 1 or 2 in the next few months. So yeah, I also rated this one 5 stars. The next 2 books that I have read that this month are 2 arcs I have received from Carina Press. The first one is Here to Stay by Adriana Herrera, and this one is an office or a workplace romance. It's a contemporary with a happy ending, and that's not spoilery because that's the Carina Press promise. And this one talks about a business consultant and an employee that's assigned for corporate social responsibility. So basically, she manages the foundation that the company helps, and the business consultant is hired by another owner of the company to get that department cut. So as you can see, they already have this. They already have this like enemies to lovers vibe. Though technically they're not enemies, just on work. And they are both from New York that moved to another state, so they have this certain connection, and they get connected through this organization of ex-New Yorkers that want to have fun and reminisce and maybe just connect their change from going in like a really urban life to a slower paced one. And yeah, I love this book. I rated it 5 stars, and if you want to know more about my thoughts, I blogged about it at ynathemoodreader.com. Please do read my post available there. The next book that I have read is Better Than People by Rowan Parrish, and this one is a MM romance, also published by Carina Press through its imprint Carina Adores. And this one is about a man who is an illustrator. I think he draws for children's books, who encountered an accident which led to him not being able to take care of all the rescue animals that he has. So he downloads PetShare, this app where you find somebody to walk your dogs and take care of your pets because you're too busy or you are unable to because of an injury. So there he meets this very shy man who has social anxiety. So he's not really comfortable in talking too much or in talking at all. So he becomes the dog walker, also with the 2 cats there, and romance ensues. So it's a really nice book. I loved it so much. I like the dynamics, and of course I love the animals that like have their little own quirky personalities in the book, and it added a little more interest for me, who is a dog lover through and through. In fact, I have Munchie here sleeping on the corner guarding me while I film. So I rated this one 4 out of 5 stars. The next books I have read is a duology. I listened to it. It's an audiobook on script again, and it's Follow Me Back and Tell Me No Lies by A.V. Geiger. So it's about a pop star and a fan. So there's this very famous pop star who is sick about his life, his popularity. He wants some freedom, at least, to do what he wants to do. He's tired of being marketed as like a boy toy for women to fall over, and this other girl has been a victim of something that isn't implied in the book, so it's another mystery part, but she doesn't want to go out of her house. She is dealing with a traumatic event, so she is staying fully at home, and all that makes her happy is her fan account for this pop star. She also creates fan fiction about this pop star, #obsessed, and then for some weird reason, they were able to connect when this pop star created a secret fan account, and they fell in love with each other, basically. But since this is a mystery thriller, you can't have that. So, this book is told in a police interview setup and a narrative setup, both in the points of view of these people. So that's what you can expect in the book. And Tell Me No Lies is the sequel of this story after the revelations on the first book. I can't really talk about it without spoiling it, but you have to read the first one before you read the next one. But it all revolves around fame and pop stars, stalkers, and all of that. So yeah, Many parts I liked, but many parts I didn't. So, there are many cliches here, many like weird ways. I don't know. There are parts that I like, so it's not like really a total loss at all. So I'm rating both books 3 stars.
Hello, it's Editing Ina, and I skipped a book. It's The Undoing of Tittlethwaite, and I read that through Scribd on audio, and it's a book about a teen who published several young adult or middle grade books, but in reality it's her dad who writes them, and she is just like the face for the series, and the world, the story revolves around that and her desire to be free from this burden, and is told in a glimpse of her life and the novel that she has, or her dad has written as well. So I love that book. It was a fun ride, and I'm rating it 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay, so I have read 30 books for the month of August, and for the pages, I have read 6,682 pages, but that's still unknown because I don't know the exact page number of The Vampires of Portlandia because it's an ARC, it's on Kindle, and I checked on Goodreads, there's still no data there. So I just guessed at 300 pages. As an estimate, I have read 6,682 books, and for these titles, from these titles, I have read 13 2020 releases, and the rest are backlist titles. I have read 47 graphic novels and 1 creative nonfiction read, so I'm happy about that because it's something new. I have read 22 Filipino written books. I have read 1 book written by a Black author and 1 book written by a Latinx author. And I have 5 books written by white authors. I rated 18 books 5 stars. I rated 6 books 4 stars. And another 6 books 3 stars. So I think it's a healthy reading experience. And that's it for my August reading wrap up. It's such a fun and wild adventure. I know it's kind of impossible to top that for the rest of the year, especially because I'm busier now more than ever. But yeah, I think the Wikathon was really the reason why this month was such an amazing journey. So I would like to thank the creators of the Wikathon, especially your Tita Kate. So yeah, I hope you stayed until the end of the video. If you did, thank you so much, and I hope to be with you again on the next video. So please do comment down below what's your favorite among my August reads. What's your favorite August read, and what do you recommend I read next? I would be more than happy to know your thoughts. You can also connect to me through my social media handles that are all in the description box below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!